Priority basically is when you pretty much just organize something. You have a goal. You want to organize your life. You want to achieve something, and in order to do that, priority is just like management. You have to see what's more important. Certain things are more important. Certain things are less important. And in order to achieve the goal, you have to put the more important things first. Many different things motivate a person to prioritize. Would anyone like to add what they think that those motivations would be?
Maybe like fear.
Okay, fear. Fear of what?
Fear of loss.
Fear of loss. Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Why? What motivates people to make priorities? Prioritize.
Money.
Okay, money. Okay, so I guess we could sum up gain, because you said loss and you like money. Okay, so you say people want to gain something. Okay, very good. What else? What else?
Commitment.
Commitment. Interesting.
Yeah, because if you're committed to it, then you know that it has to be done.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's a good one. So if you maybe like, I guess I would put that in the category of personal value. You value something, so because you have a personal value, then you say, okay, well I'm gonna prioritize. I'm gonna party all weekend because I like to party. So I want to make sure I have enough party time. So I got to prioritize. So I have enough time. Usually it's like you're trying to graduate, so you're like, okay, so I have to graduate this class. I have to prioritize. So anything else? Those are some good points.
Your life purpose.
Your life, good. Okay, so a greater purpose.
Yeah. So if it's
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Spirituality.
Anything else? Did we cover them all?
Desires.
Desires. Desires. Okay, so general, but
Attachments.
attachments. So you would prioritize, someone would prioritize because they have some attachment to something. Okay.
Or to learn to become unattached, rather.
Okay. Okay. Educational purpose. So okay, we can see there's many reasons to prioritize, but I think most of us will agree that when you make priorities, you feel a lot better. Right? Like you're trying to achieve something, and you're like, when you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, you feel like you're going somewhere. There's certain convictions that you have, or there's certain things that you know about, and we have a limited time. Time it's also time sensitivity. You only have a certain amount of time. Time's a big factor in why people prioritize. So you have to choose things which are more important. So here's a couple of tips which are based, pretty much they're tips to motivate a person to prioritize, or this is, I guess you can say, these are some inspirations, and these aren't my creation. These are age-old philosophical truths which have been disclosed in the Vedic knowledge. So these are some ancient Vedic teachings, why people, different inspiration for making priorities. So the first thing, one of the first things is an acute awareness of time. Acute awareness of time. But more importantly, the temporary nature of this world. So this body is temporary, doesn't last forever. So when we just live day to day, and we just try to counteract, different problems, we can get caught up in, trying to solve temporary issues, and we may not see that, time is limited. In fact, when we get too caught up in what's going on, today, in the news or whatever is happening, current events, we may forget about the temporary nature of this world. It's kind of interesting because the mind just kind of carries you away, and we just tend to assume that we're going to be here forever. I have time to do this, I have time to go here, I have so much time in my life, I'm going to do this. But the interesting thing about this world is that it's a world where everyone thinks it's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to be the one. bad stuff happens to other people. You know, young people maybe get cancer, no, but not me. I don't get the, you know, everyone thinks like that. It's not going to happen to me. You know, like some people died in an earthquake in Japan. You know, that's Japan. That's like way over there, but that's not going to happen to me. You know, so this is one of the things in order to really prioritize one's life to achieve greater things. One has to kind of realize the temporary nature of this world. It's not always going to be here. And there's actually one story I just thought of. It's quite funny. It's about two lazy men. They were sitting in a cabin, and these guys were super lazy, like the laziest people you can't even imagine how lazy they are. So one guy, they were sitting by a chimney. So they're sitting by the chimney, sitting by the fire, and actually it starts to catch on fire. The room starts to catch on fire, and one of the guys is so lazy, he doesn't even want to say backside burning. It's like it's too much energy, so he says BB, backside burning. And the guy and the other lazy friend, he says MA. It's like move aside. So he kind of rolls over, and apparently it starts getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So everything is like burning down, and they're so lazy. They're actually thinking, oh, it's daytime, the sun's coming up, and then the one lazy guy says to the other lazy guy, is like, how hot is this sun? Can you go see what's going on? And then the other guy says, no, it's too much trouble just to open my eyes. So just can't even. So the idea is that when one is so, I guess you say apathetic, or one's lazy, or one has this consciousness of not caring about their own welfare, then while inevitable death's coming, you assume that you have all this time. You assume that there's nothing wrong. You assume that there's no danger. But this world is full of danger. So to have acute awareness of this world, its temporary nature, its dangers, disease, nobody thinks that they're going to get cancer or anything, but people do every day, and they always feel like it's not going to be me. So when we're not aware, then generally we don't prioritize properly. We think, we have enough time to, I'll take care of this later. Important things we put aside, very important things. So that's one point. Another point is, I think you mentioned it. You said we have to have some purpose, some greater purpose. So that's a good point. So we have to have some specific goal, and not just a goal, but here, check this out. We have to have an awesome goal. We have to have some awesome purpose for our life. That's kind of, I would say, the difference between, feeling alive, feeling truly alive, and just feeling, like a zombie, like you're just going through the motions of day to day, is when you have a great purpose. And here's the thing: if you don't have, somebody might say, "Well, I don't know what my purpose is. What's my purpose?" Well, that's the thing. You gotta find it. You have to be thirsty to find this greater purpose. And when you have that greater purpose, it's an amazing thing, because it inspires you to take action and do things that you would have never have done under the circumstances. Like a lot of people, they think that the greatest achievement you could do in your old age is go to Grand Canyon, or go to Disneyland, and if you do these things, then it's a great achievement, for like black on the wall. But I mean when we look into history, there's just amazing personalities, amazing people who did far more than just go to the Grand Canyon and have, who's that person, Magellan. He toured the world with a crew of a couple hundred people. He traveled the entire world almost in a ship, and most of the crew died. But I mean, these are people who are super inspired to go farther beyond than what anyone has ever known. And when we have this great goal, when we have this awesome goal, then we can start prioritizing. It gives us inspiration to get our priorities straightened down. So speaking of that, in order to have an awesome goal, in order to have this greater purpose, you have to have some great role models. And that's kind of the problem in our culture today. Our culture, we idolize, just, little movie stars and, people who have a little bit of talent. But, there's a big difference between, Michelangelo, a great artist whose art just lives, century, just years and years way beyond his time, and then, Lady Gaga or some, modern, artiste. Somebody puts together some show, people pay for it, they buy the CD, 10 years later, they don't even know anything about these. It's a new, fad. So we have, like Backstreet Boys, people don't even know, like, these boy bands and stuff, because it's not true art. People just pay these people, go on the stage, look like this, say this, do this, and give you a bunch of money, and they're like, yeah, I'm an artist. But, real artists, their art lives forever. And then, we have great people, like, think about, like, somebody like Joan of Arc, somebody, has anyone heard of Joan of Arc? So this is like a great, person, very inspired, somebody who's, like, creating a whole new way of life. Just one person can lead, like, an entire, country, But, then we have, like, George Bush, or, somebody who's like, he's like, okay, we're killing the terrorists, So we're like, yeah, and then there's a lot of patriots who are like, yeah, go George Bush, So, there's a big difference between what we consider like a hero or an inspirational figure today and what it used to be, So I think this is really important. And that's one of the more important things is the educational system. They're not really going to say, yeah, be great. They're just, get enough to make a job, just get by. So that's the thing is, you have to see your potential. You have to be able to unlock your greatest potential. And people who have done that, I mean, everyone knows these names, that I'm talking about. So, you have to do something great. A lot of people say, well, I'm just a housewife. I'm just a little, worker. I'm a manager of a business, small business. They think, well, I can't do anything. This is what I am. But that's the point. You've limited yourself to just, some designation. So that's the thing. Each one of us have a lot of, unlocked potential to do amazing things in this planet for each other, and to change the civilization towards good. So that's really important. And then lastly is efficiency. So efficient, and this kind of ties in with everything else. It kind of sums it up. Is we have a limited time to exist, and the more efficient we are with our time, the more we can accomplish. So basically, the more we understand that principle, the more we'll be able to prioritize better, because that's one reason why we don't prioritize like we should, is because we're just not efficient with our time, because it's that illusion. We think we're just going to have all this time in the world. So these are a few points. And I think what I was saying is, to have a great goal, to use your time properly. This is what makes you feel, satisfied within. You feel like you're accomplishing something. You feel like you've done something with your time, with your day. I think most people can relate. If you just space out, all day.
Sleep all day.
And then you sleep all day, and you're like, God, what did I just do? That you feel like, the creature of the Black Lagoon or something. You just feel gross. You're like, I didn't do anything. So when you actually do something, and not just something small, but like I'm saying, like something big. Have a great vision, have a grand vision. And don't wait for others to come up with that vision for you. That's kind of how we've been trained. in our culture. Well, somebody will come along with a great vision and they'll kind of just like chip in. It's like, no, you don't have to wait. That's one of the blessings of having this human form is it gives us a higher intelligence. So we should use that higher intelligence, and we should benefit the world with that higher intelligence.